Hey, this is Kim Meyer with Horsemanship Help, and today's topic is lunging, why we lunge, and how I prepare my school horses for lunging. First off, why? When you're starting a young horse, it helps to let them pack a saddle, pack a bridle without a rider and feel comfortable with it. They learn voice commands, they learn body language, they learn respect. Another reason, other than a young horse, is to let your horse loosen up before you ride. If you've got an older horse and they've been in and you need to just let them travel for a little bit to loosen up, that's another reason. Reason number 3 is to take the edge off of your horse in a controlled way. Lunging should never be a Yahoo session. Never, ever, ever. Sometimes it might become it, but its goal is not just to send them out and have them be ballistic till they get tired. Number 4 is, one of my big ones, is to prepare my school horses. Someday, this is Dharma, and she's got more advanced students and starting towards intermediate students that are riding her now. And someday, her future will be to be a lunge line beginner horse for people that are just starting. So as my horses progress, they become good lunge line, solid horses. She's great to lunge, but to be in a lesson. So the tools, some of the tools for lunging, okay? When I left Fort Collins, Colorado, I worked at Munder Farm in Fort Collins, and one of my students knew that I was coming out here to New Hampshire, New England, to start my business. And she bought me this wonderful lunging caveson. Now, I don't use it because, one, I'm not versed in it a ton, but also it seems like every time I put it on, it seems very heavy and very bulky. It's got a ring up front and a ring on the side, okay? So there are lunging cavesons of which I could learn more about, but I get it done with the Bridle and Halter. So I have not used the lunging caveson, okay? Like you said, it just feels heavy to me on their nose. Hi, girly. So when I use the bridle, okay, if I do have a halter, I just snap it on underneath, and then you can change directions. But if I have a bridle, okay, Captain De La Garza used to go to Munder Farm that I used to work at in Fort Collins, and he had been one of the Olympic trainers for the Mexican Olympic team. And he showed me this trick of just getting a 2-inch ring, a 2-inch ring, and you can put it through their noseband or caveson, and you can just put it through, feed it through, and it just hangs down here, okay? Now that's a fantastic tool, okay? But to tell you the truth, with me for time, with lessons, I just keep my noseband or caveson a little bit loose, and I just put the lunge line through it, okay? So I'll show you here in just a sec. So, here, come up, Dharma, and turn. I don't know if you can see. There's the ring. Turn your head, girlfriend. There's the ring, okay? But what I just do, I know we're looking at the camera, okay? But what I just do is I take the lunge line and just put it through, okay? And when I get a lunge line, okay, I'm going to put the reins up over her head, and then I'm going to, can you come around, girlfriend, so they can see what I'm doing? Good girl. Oh, good, perfect. Perfect, perfect. I'm going to snap onto the ring, or I could just put this through and attach it to itself, okay? Put the lunge line through and attach it to itself. My noseband, again, is kind of loose. Then I take the reins, and so that if the horse were to put its head down, it wouldn't step through it. I take these reins and I twist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I buy warm blood reins for my school horses so that my students can be softer on their mouth. So that's something that I have a whole bunch of brand new reins that I don't use because I buy warm blood ones, which I don't know if they're 2 or 4 inches longer. And that way, when it's like this, it'll keep it up so that, so that if she puts her head down, she won't step through it, okay? And so when you lunge, 30, 35, it doesn't foot lunge, but when you can see this, I have cut off, all of these lunge lines come with this piece of rubber circular thing. I believe they think that you're supposed to stand on it and prevent the horse from taking off. And that just to me seems so dangerous. You can get wrapped around your leg. And if you're standing on it, you're going to get pulled out. So I always get rid of that weird rubber thing on the end. I never have a lunge line with a chain because, one, if I didn't put it around their nose like people do, it would wiggle too much, but also I wouldn't want them to ever step on that if they got loose, and it just seems unnecessary if you've worked with them. So let me just check and make sure I'm doing okay on my notes. So we have bridle with a noseband. You can do a halter, lunge line without a chain, and take off the rubber thing, and then a lunge whip, okay? So those are the things that you need. Now, in preparing my horses, I take an awful lot of time. I prepare very, very well because my horses have some precious cargo. What are you doing, girlie? Some precious cargo on them, kids and all sorts of stuff. So when I get a horse used to and ready for lunging, back up, girlfriend, okay? I'm going to take the whip, the lunge whip, and sack her out with it. Okay, I'm going to have my line short enough that if she needed to circle, she could go around me in a circle. But you want to be able to pet them. They should not be afraid of the lunge whip in any form. Go down the legs, down the front, under the tummy, all the way around. Okay, I think Tom Dorrance used to call it go around the world. Okay, and so you should be able to do this from both sides at the standstill, as well as at the walk. Okay, I'm just going to throw the lunging caveson out of the way a little bit. Okay, and walk, walk. She knows walk, walk, baby. Okay, so not only should they be able to have it, okay, from a standstill, but you should be able to do this while they're walking and have it all over them. Okay, and good girl. So you want them sacked out with the lunge whip from both sides, from a standstill and while moving. And you also want to be able to, if you ever want a someday rope swing, get that whoosh, whoosh, okay? And again, that would be from both sides. A real basic thing with getting a horse ready to lunge, I know it seems weird, but you want to be able to have where you can touch them all over, and that there's no spot that they're a little funky on, okay? And you also want to be able to do all the exercises in the giving to pressure ones that I've had, which is the back up. I'll do it from the other side. You should be able to back up easily, come forward. You should be able to have the head down. And I'm going to do one about lateral bends. Okay? They should be able to do all of this before you ask them to lunge. They should give to pressure. Okay? And they should also be able to, you should be able to be good with their feet. Okay? And picking up their feet from all over in case, heaven forbid, something happens and the rope gets around it. Now, another thing I do with the rope, okay, is I sack them out with it all over and make sure that they're comfortable with it. And then I fling it out in front and I coil it up so she sees the rope coming at her. Good girl, Donna. I do it where, good girl, I take it, you over here, babe? Okay? I take it and I throw it out behind her so that the lunge line is coming directly from behind her. Okay? Good girl. Good girl. And then I even go so far as to make sure that I can throw this over the top of her and have it come across her from both sides. Good girl. Now, if I wasn't doing a video, I wouldn't be standing here. I'd be standing at her shoulder in case she needed to circle. And also I'd put it under. Okay? So my horses have this rope all around them. And they feel very comfortable with it. Because if you're lunging, they need to feel very, very comfortable, especially if you're going to do it for lessons. They need to feel very comfortable. Another thing is you make sure that if a rope were to get down around their feet, that they'd be okay with that on front and back. Okay, so you've got it going up and down the leg, front and back. So, those are some of the things. Sack them out with the whip, sack them out with the lunge line, be able to have them back up, do head down, all the giving to pressure exercises that I have in my earlier videos. And if you would like to see the next week's video, which will be about lunging, hit the subscribe button and you will get notified about it. And remember, I'm Kim Meyer with Horsemanship Health, and I want you to stay safe, I want you to succeed, and I want you to enjoy your horse. All right, thank you so much.